So that has been creating a frame using the inbuilt CAD editor in MasterFrame. Quite frequently you will end up with an AutoCAD drawing, and I'm going to take two AutoCAD drawings for you. This one is a wee house extension, and as the engineer I need to put some steel members in to pick up these new beams. So I have created using the red line. I put out my framing members because these ones out here just sit on the wall, so I'm not interested in those. And all I'm going to do is, if I look at my layers, I will see, just so I can see it at the top of the screen, a layer called AMMS for MasterSeries. Now I just hide that, turn the layer off, you'll see it disappear. So putting that back on again. So the golden rule is, rather than trying to be fancy and import everything, just import the layers that you want. And I always recommend you draw a trace outline layer. Now if I wanted to put a column in here and have it come in, I use what we call the point facility. So if I just go point, and put a point there and put a point there. You'll notice also that these members have been drawn a wee bit higgledy. They're not 101% accurate. They're 95% accurate. So how do we bring it in? We go and we say save as. So I'm going to save it, and I don't have a file in here at the minute. I'm going to save it as a DXF file, and you might as well just save it as something basic because it doesn't need to be complicated. 10 or 2007 DXF is good enough. And do I have one called house? I don't, but I'm going to give it a number, and I'm going to give it the time we have at this minute, 13-31. So that's the exact time we're doing this at now, and save. Now the only odd thing you need to remember is that you need to close the AutoCAD down, otherwise it holds on to the DXF file, and I'm going to say no, I don't want to save anything on this. It won't allow you to open it if it's still open in AutoCAD. So frames, master frame, import, DXF, and if I sort by date, there is 1331 is the date, or sorry, the time stamp, and I'm going to say open. Now it's now saying what layer do you want to bring in. Well, the layer we want to bring in is AAMS. We want to bring in lines. We also want to bring in any points we create and create them as, and it's not a multi-story building, 2.5 meters. And we will create it in the same directory. So I'm just going to say extract. Off it goes, reading the document, and it's found 12 members, and it's created the file, and I can now just say load that file. So very simple, and we got our column coming in here. Now if you remember, we don't have exact matching of points here, and if I just turn off and on the points, you'll see that it is slightly unmatched. Now we have a lovely little trick to solve that, and I recommend you just put the whole thing in plan, and then you just go and you say close that, modify, and it's the change X, Y, Z, or the set to common coordinates. So if I come and window wall these, if I reset, sorry, and I say I want to change the Z, which is the into the page one, window wall these, you'll see that it's telling me that I've got different values here, and I'm going to say I want them all to be at 0 and apply. So they're now all pulled to the same level. If I reset that and do it on this run of nodes, you'll see again there's a variation in those, and I'm going to make them 1.9. 5 and say apply. So that's them all aligned horizontally, so to speak, and you would just do the same on the other axes. So we now don't have the same problems. So that was one frame brought in. Let's look at a different frame. That was a planned view. If I go to another AutoCAD drawing, and here we've got a truss drawn out, and what we've done for this truss is we've drawn some center lines. Now obviously we don't know exactly where the centroids of all the members are, but I've just taken the top flanges for these and the intersection points for those and create them all onto the yellow layers. So this time we have several different layers. We have bottom boom, we have diagonals, we have top boom, and we have verticals. So top, bottom, diagonals, and verticals. And the reason behind that is that if we now go and save this one, in this case I save it as going to be a DXF, and I'll save it. And having saved it as a DXF, just going to exit very simply. Now what I'm going to do is, there we go, truss 1337. Let's open this, and now what I want to do is bring in the bottom boom, the diagonal, the top boom, and the vertical. The steel ones are the originals, and going to extract all those and load the file. The nice thing about this, and I'm just going to turn off all color by section. Obviously we've got some alignment issues we need to sort out. Again, that's the problem with using CAD systems and people not being careful, but I'll show you again a quick tool to merge those very easily. If we look at the viewing of members, you will see that we actually have separate viewing groups so that we can then go and very quickly assign them steel sections. So we've got a little bit of an issue here. We've got a node, so if I actually turn on node points, you will see, and we'll get big node points please. We've got the node here and the node here, so what we need to do is just go modify and redefine member, and just zoom back out, redefine that member from that node to that node, and it's done. Redefine that member from that node to that one, and it's done. That one from there to there, and it's done. And likewise that one from there to there, and it's done. So there's two different styles of DXF file brought in.